And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. And now we will be going over to the other window. Alright. Let's go here. Alright. Hello, it's Alien Spaceship. I hope everybody's been having a good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. And today, there's two trials going on so far that we have been looking over, and we'll do some review about that tonight. Let's see. I guess I'm gonna keep the chat here like this. Put that there. All right. So two trials are going on. Is make sure this is all working properly. Let's see. Okay, that is this right here. So there's the Beauty Queen baby murder trial and the Massachusetts one with Brian Walsh. In a little bit, we are going to do, as I said, reviews on that trial. And as we get this started, we will look at some scenes from the Holly Bobo trial, and then as time goes on, we will go into the review, and then later on reviewing the two trials today, and then after that we're going to look at the other part, which was the most likely parts of the death trial that we saw yesterday. We'll go and re-exhume. Okay. So getting this on right now. As we have different people come through, and it is the Christmas, not Christmas, well, we're in the month of Christmas. It's the holiday season, rather. That's what we're in. That's pretty cool. Okay. Some people don't like the holidays. It depends on the person. Oh, let's turn that off and flip it over this way. Okay, how about that? We'll have that, but giving a little bit of a small overview about what these trials are for those that don't know. In the trial for the Trinity Madison, a former Georgia beauty queen accused of murdering her boyfriend, 18-month-old son, Romeo Jackson Angelus, which wasn't her biological son, it seems. It was a stepmother, began this week, and it's a trial that's currently ongoing. It has not completed yet. So there's interesting witnesses today. We thought that they did. One guy with a beard, we thought he did well. Sometimes I feel in the court things are a little bit goofy, the way some of them operate. There's kind of like blooper moments. The defense is going to be trying to defend the position that she's innocent when somebody was obviously hurt. A child was murdered and beat. It's an extreme to do that to a child, I think. The other trial is in Massachusetts. The murder trial of Brian Walsh, a Massachusetts man accused of bleeding, killing, dismembering his wife's Anna Walsh, is currently underway. And Anna Walsh, mother of three and a real estate agent, was last seen New Year's Day on 20th year 23, and her body has never been found. So that was that trial. And that trial is ongoing, and as the stream goes on, we'll do more reviews on it. The charges he faces is Brian Walsh faces first-degree murder charge, and he recently pleaded guilty to lesser. Hello, Raymond. Good to see you. Welcome. Brian Walsh faces a first-degree murder charge. He recently pleaded guilty to 2 lesser charges: misleading police and improper convenience of a human body, though he maintains his innocence on the murder charge itself. The charges over in the Beauty murder trial is malice murder. 2 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of aggravated battery, and currently cruelty to the children in the first degree. All right. Hello, Moki. Good evening. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Glow. Welcome, everybody. All right. So that is the charges for her case in the Beauty Queen murder trial. Right, and and I hope everybody's been having a good evening, good day. All right, so I'm doing an overview of the trials that we were looking at recently. So here it goes. As the trial continues, District Attorney Louis R. Lamb argued in opening statements about it is that Trinity resented the child and inflicted the fatal blunt force trauma to his head and torso while the child was in her sole care for a brief period. Text messages were cited where Trinity expressed to desire punch the child. Medical experts are expected to testify that the injuries occurred just minutes before the child was brought to the emergency room with fresh bruising and no heart rate. Defense argument. Defense attorney W.T. Tim Gamble. Hello, Becky. Good evening. The third argued that Trinity is an innocent victim and that the case is based on suspicion without evidence. Defense highlighted Trinity's extensive babysitting experience and claimed that GBI investigation was flawed, pointing out that no physical evidence, blood DNA, was found at the scene. They also suggested that the child's father, Julian Williams, gave conflicting stories at the hospital and may have been controlling. I think in this situation he's guilty and there's no really other way around that. Of course, they're going to try to argue it the way that she's innocent. That's what her defense will try to do because that's their job. I have noticed her in the trial that she doesn't seem to show empathy towards the child or anything really. The defendant seems very emotionless. Not that there's like a rule book people have to follow when they're on trial like that, but she doesn't seem concerned about the child or anyone else. She seems motionless, which is something that I've pointed out along with others. And testimony has included the law enforcement personnel and emergency room doctor treated the child and the victim's father. Okay, and let's see. In this trial, let's see, explain. Today there are some witnesses. There is Julian J. Williams, the appointed biological father of the victim of Romeo Jackson. Angeles continued his testimony from previous days. Hello, Pussycat. Good evening to you. Welcome. All right, Julian J. Williams. Okay, I read that. Okay, Dr. Michael Bussman, a family practice physician and Phoebe Putney Health System, who was one of the first doctors to treat a child at the emergency room. Dr. Jill Olek, a board-certified family medicine physician at Phoebe Putney Health System, who took over treatment after Dr. Busman. Yeah, good to see you, Pussycat. Dr. Anthony J. Clark, an associate medical examiner. Thank you, Mookie. From GBI, George Bureau of Investigation, medical examiner officer. Oh. Round two. Two. Oh. I had a half-hour sneezing fit this morning while on the phone. Oh, okay. It must be the allergies are hyping up. Okay, so it was very compelling witnesses today. I don't always remember their names. I like the one with the beard. He seemed logical, reasonable. Sometimes, as I said, they'll ask some silly questions. They're asking him today about throw up. Like, can they tell what is in throw up about, like, and the guy just is kind of like, he doesn't really know. They're kind of stretching right there. But that's something I never would have really thought about, telling things from human throw up. I guess you might need to do that. That's not the most appetizing thing to talk about. I could have made a disclaimer about that, but that was something that kind of caught my attention. I was like, well, that's a question I didn't see coming. Okay, these are the key points. All right. Medical testimony. Dr. Busman testified that the child arrived at the hospital not breathing, with no pulse, and was completely unresponsive after resuscitation efforts. The medical staff noticed swelling on his face and back of his head, which Dr. Busman indicated was from a direct blow. Test arrived, revealed a liver laceration. Oh, you've been watching Walsh. Okay. I've been seeing both of them. But yes, it's certainly one to catch up on. This trial reminds me of the treadmill trial, if y'all remember. That trial was very sad when the father was making his son run on the treadmill and caused basically the kid to break and die. So that was really evil of actions. This is what that reminds me of. I really would like people to not harm children. It's a very, people could take their anger out on something else. And the question is, like, what was the cause of it? Or, like, what should the person be? Should the person be back in public? Should the person be out in public again? Would they do the same thing? Like, this type of behavior is not normal, but as I said, the trial is still ongoing, and we'll see different points. But, yeah, I think it's quite... And a lot of these trials with kids are very disturbing. A lot of people don't like them, obviously. Yeah, that was so sad. You remember that? Yeah, it was very sad. I watched LC latest documentary about it, but had to fast forward shocking abuse again. Yeah. Shocking indeed. All right. So the timeline and cause of injury. Dr. Busman testified that, in his medical opinion, the injuries occurred an estimated 30 to 60 minutes before the child was brought to the hospital, not just 5 minutes prior, as the father had initially mentioned to medical staff in one of his statements. Okay, so that's the timeline of when the injury happened. There were fresh injuries. Okay, yeah. Though I'm glad she appreciates what LC did. The LC did very good coverage on that. I remember in chat we were keeping up with it and watching it, and it was a collaborative effort of our own research independently as well. So yeah, that was a sad trial, of course, but it was a well done by LC, and the chat was united. And I think there wasn't different opinions. Everyone pretty much thought the same thing, but there was different debates and dialogues about legal stuff. So it was I remember back when I did the night lives. In a way, this is like a night live, but it's a little bit, much earlier than I would usually used to do lives. So that is what I would talk about it, and people that were not part of the trial chat group, but there's other, like people that are like in other countries that it was like daytime over there. So, and they were like learning about the case, and it was nice to give it exposure to other groups. Okay, and shout out to you, Pussycat. All right, right on. All right. So, Trinity's statement. Dr. Bussman recounted that Trinity told him at the hospital that she had shaken GD because he was not acting correctly. There are people that sometimes hit their kids for out of discipline purposes. That never happened to me, but and I probably needed it sometimes, honestly, and I probably still need one once in a while. But I wasn't hit or anything like that. And when these kids that I know of that have been swatted or spanked or whatever, no one ever died over it. No one was severely injured over it. So for her to say she had to shaken up because he was not acting correctly, I mean, this is really messed up that she like was going to beat the kid to death over it. That's something I've never heard of. I'm glad I didn't. That's really odd of behavior. I really don't think kids should be hit at all. And this is exactly the reason why, but still, if she went overboard, definitely. Corey's mother did mention that there were a few trolls the live a few days ago, but she guesses they were Corey's father's family. Oh. So maybe they were part of Corey's mother's family. That's a possibility. But I would say a likelihood, there are lots of trolls that are just on the internet being stupid to get attention. And they're going to do things like that to cause issues. I think there's a possibility that they may have just could have had a different opinion and they were wrong, or just being, they're trolling. They're not just only a different opinion, but they're being mean. So yeah, just people on the internet are mean, and there's trolls. So it could have just been somebody trying to get attention. That's what the trolls like to do, but it could have been someone from the family as well. It could have been a combination of things. Pussycat says, I chose to never smack my child, and he is a wonderful genius. A wonderful, loving genius. Well, I'm glad to know that he came out well and you didn't have to hit him. That's good. Defense cross-examination. Defense used the witnesses to highlight the father's alleged conflicting statements to hospital staff, a timeline of events and cause of injuries, suggesting a flawed investigation. Raymond says, yes, lots of trolls. They do create lots of issues. Trolls should not be allowed to disrupt the peace. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And, hello, Aaron. Good evening to you. Welcome to our chat. I hope that you are having a good day, or doing well. Thank you for being here. So, on today, Wednesday, Dr. Anthony J. Clark, an associate medical examiner from the JBI examiner's office, testified regarding the injuries sustained by 18-month-old Jackson Angeles. Okay. And basically the cause of death, the official cause of death, was determined to be blunt force trauma to both head and torso. And look, when you have blunt force trauma like this, they're asking me earlier, could I find anything about what was used exactly, and there wasn't anything mentioned as far as I knew from earlier about what was used. If it was a hand or a broom or whatever it was, we don't. I don't know at the moment, and I haven't found anything so far. The specific injuries: the child suffered from significant injuries, including fresh bruising on his face and the right side of his body, and liver laceration. Injuries ultimately rendered the brain useless, suggesting severe brain trauma and swelling. All right, timeline. The medical testimony is, we read that 30 to 60 minutes. And what was the defense questioning? We'll talk about that. And Aaron asks Smokey, how is she feeling? That's very sweet. During the cross-examination of the GBI and police investigations, and defense attorneys questioned several aspects of the investigation, asserting that it was flawed and based on suspicion without evidence. Key areas of defense questioning included lack of physical evidence. The defense highlighted that no physical evidence, such as blood, DNA evidence, or even vomit evidence, was found at the alleged crime scene in Trinity's dorm room. Discarded evidence. Defense attorney Tim Gamble specifically argued that the investigators had found a diaper that appeared to contain blood in the child's fecal matter, but it was discarded before being tested. And, they could argue that everything should be tested and taken into consideration to be fair to the clients. But, of course, the client, I feel, was guilty. But the defense will argue certain things for their good of their case they're trying to present. All right, Raymond. Good evening to you. Thank you for stopping by for a little bit. Peace. The defense focuses heavily on numerous and reportedly conflicting statements the victim's father, Julian Williams, gave the hospital staff and law enforcement about timeline of events and how the injuries occurred. He says, still run down, probably won't be on long. I got a new cat tree and it's still sitting in the box. Oh, the cat trees. I know what you're talking about. So with the cat trees, we usually, I call them a cat tower, but they certainly are like cat trees. I like that. We have one for the new kitten that's in his little house. Oki says to Aaron, "Did I tell you I'm fostering a cat?" Yeah, and I remember Moki told us about this a couple of nights, some time ago, that she was fostering a new kitty, and we were glad to hear about that. So I'm glad she could fill Aaron in on that as well, because the cats certainly need a home, and they like human companionship at the same time. I remember there's a cat outside that I'm dealing with, and he likes to follow me around, and I feed him food all the time. And he likes to kind of stalk me in the bushes and pounce. He's funny. So, yeah, the cat towers are so intricate where the cats could hide in little rooms and stuff. Or cat trees is a better way to say it. Yeah. And shout out to all the felines. Conflicting statements. The defense focused heavily on the numerous and reportedly conflicting statements the victim's father, Julian Williams, gave to the hospital staff and law enforcement about the timeline of events and how the injuries occurred. Failure to investigate the father. The defense implied that the investigators were too quick to focus on Trinity and failed to adequately testify the father, Julian Williams, as a potential subject, emphasizing his shifting narrative. Paternity. Send pics of cats. Oh yeah, I have quite a few pictures of cats that I'll go post later. Timeline of discrepancies. They challenged the medical and police timeline, suggesting Trinity was only allowed with a child for a very brief window of that the child was already in distress, refusing to eat or drink even when Williams was present. Missing grand jury selection. During motions, it was noted that a section of grand jury proceedings provided to the defense was missing, which led to defense to question the integrity of the process, though it did not impact the current trial proceedings. Aaron says, sorry, I was telling everyone to be quiet in a meeting. Milky says, I was trying to take pictures of him, but he was rolling around on the floor, getting belly rubs, and then they're all blurry. Yeah, I was trying to take pictures of the cat outside. His name's Claude. And he will move, and it makes the picture blurry. Yeah. The cats just get so excited and full of life. Okay. That is so cool. Okay, shout out to Google Chrome. This is a very good idea. I've been waiting for this for a while, so y'all can't see what I'm talking about. So, switching over to the other screen. All right. Google made this where you can look at both windows at once. That's so cool. I like that. Yeah, it's a new feature. I've been waiting for a long time or something like that. Okay. Yeah, give them catnip first. That's true. And Aaron says, Moki, it's good so far. Looking forward to Christmas break and whenever we want, haha, but meeting more and more peeps like us every day. Thanks. Oh, that's so sweet, Moki. That's cool they brought them to you. Murder trial of Brian Walsh. A Massachusetts man accused of deleting, killing, and dismembering his wife, Anna Walsh, is currently underway. Anna Walsh, a mother of three and real estate agent, was last seen on New Year's Day 23. The body has never been found. Current status. So the trial began in the earnest on 1 December 25 in Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham, Massachusetts, with opening statements. And witness testimony continuing into December 3, 2025. The trial is expected to last 3 to 4 weeks. Hello, Passion. Good evening to you. Welcome to the stream, or good afternoon if it's afternoon or morning where you are. But yeah, welcome. All right. charges, Brian Walsh faces the first-degree murder charge, and he recently pleaded guilty to two lesser charges: misleading police, improper conveyance of a human body, though he maintains his innocence on the murder charge itself. Oh, peaches are delicious. One of my friends is nicknamed Peach. Right. The defense claims that Walsh found his wife, Leah, dead in the bed of an unexplained medical event and panicked, leading him to dispose of her body and lied to police out of fear of losing his children. And the evidence is hilarious right here. So, the prosecution's case heavily relies on digital evidence, including Bryant Walsh's alleged Google searches on his laptop and son's iPad for terms like best way to dispose of the body, can you be charged with murder without a body, and how to saw a body. You see, when you search up things like that, is, by the way, Georgia, the state, is very famous for peaches. Hilarious passion. Right. Oh, that's nice, Aaron. Yeah, his Google searches were really daunting. It's like bro was literally obsessed with this murder and blaming his son for it. That was so evil of him. Witness testimony: investigations have testified about the recovering items with Brian Walsh and Anna Walsh's DNA, including hacksaw, hatchet, Tyvek suit, and Anna's vacation card, vaccination card rather, from a trash transfer station. A JetBlue records keeper also testified that there was no record of Anna Walsh boarding a flight on January 1, 23, contradicting Brian's initial claims. You're totally out the loop of the trials. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm glad to fill you in. I have not been... I've been watching the trials, but not being there as frequently. Explain. Oh, they claim that he's in a better position than you give credit for. Well, we'll see if they're right or not. But they could twist things around however they want to twist it. But I still think he's guilty. But thank you for the heads up. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That's a very wise. Whenever they come. That's true, Moki. Hilarious, Aaron. Hilarious. Right, Passion says one YouTube lawyer, for example, claims the sudden, unexpected deletion death defense is actually pretty airtight, since A can be disproven and fits a narrative. Oh. Many kids are going to. They are taking care of the house, and Kat's husband was cleared to fly. Oh, I'm glad he was cleared to fly. I'm glad to hear that. Oh yes, Aaron. They've been quite passionate. Absolutely. Scared. All right. Wednesday, December 3/25 witnesses in the Brian Walsh murder trial included forensic scientists and an insurance agent, and Walsh's landlord and records custodians from travel and rideshare service. Right, Davis Gold Gold testified about the items recovered from trash facilities, including a hatchet, hacksaw suit, bathrobe, towels, slippers, and Anna Walsh's vaccination card. He confirmed that many items had red-brown stains, but noted could not verify the manner in which the stains were deposited or if they were stained before being put in the trash bags. Yeah, right on, Moki. Nice. It's full of demi gorgons. Okay. All right. So Vaggi testified that Anna Walsh purchased over a million in life insurance policies in 21, naming Brian Walsh as the sole beneficiary after her husband had been denied coverage. On cross examination, he confirmed that Anna had received a high health rating after a medical assessment, which the defense used to counter the prosecution suggesting a potential motive. Peter Capozzi, landlord of Walsh's Cohasset home, testified that Brian called him January 23 after Anna was reported missing to ask if there were security cameras at his adjacent business. Scared. What do you think about the impending Georgia court media restrictions? You see, Passion, I'm not completely familiar with the situation that you're referring to, but I'll give you my take on it. I think people should see what's going on in the courts, and there shouldn't be any restrictions to it. You know, like we saw YSL, and I believe we saw it in its entirety uncensored. I think that it should be relaxed and people should see what's going on. And if there's more to this restriction, I'd like to. You can tell me more about it if you'd like. So that is the my position on that passion. Thank you. All right. All right. Moki says, or in the street, is that Trump is going to disclose before the end of the year. I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, I agree with you, Moki. I'll believe it when I see it too. If he does, that'll be great. But is it clout? Is he gonna not do it? Is there an agreement about it? We're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I really think people should see the truth about that. I don't know if they're gonna really do it, or they might do it when it's too late. Okay, Moki, thank you. Thank you. In June this year, the Georgian Dream Parliament apparently sought to restrict photo, video, audio recordings in court, saying it deliberately turns courts into a circus. They did YSL. Okay, thank you. Restricted photo. What do I think about that? Parliament approved the sought to restrict photo, video, and audio recordings in courts. I, I want people to be able to see what's going on at the trials, like how LC and CTV cover it. Now, if there's people that are being rowdy in there and making it into a clown show and it's disrupting the trial's proceedings, they could either add boundaries or limit what people are doing. So maybe it could help make more order in the court. But if it's going to be used to try to restrict people from seeing the trials or people doing some journalistic activities, I would hope it would be relaxed. But yeah, YSL certainly was wild, and there was media issues. There's people that were media person like independent journalists in there that were having problems. So there could be some issues with how they did it. So regulations might be fine, but it I would hope it wouldn't turn into being too strict where people can't see anything in there at all. But we'll see how that goes. Shots Mary Toodles. All right. Passion said they still have the Zoom cams and release that footage if they choose to public. Okay. That's good. They should still release it to public. Okay. It's not. I mean, they could. Whoever's broadcasting, I guess they could see it depending how they have it set up. But usually with LC, there's a camera, and it's hooked in the side of the courtroom. I'm sure there's like a control center somewhere in there where you can see the computer is at, or however they do it. But usually in the LC, it's like a camera, and I wondered that myself, what people in the court can see or not see. But usually there's not much they can really see from our end. Is usually people in their courtroom, in their trial, that are actually there at the courthouse that are maybe filming things or doing journalistic stuff that might get out of hand. Because that's happened at YSL. Passion said my calorie intake went up at least 300% after I found live trial. So, okay. Scared. All right, the Beauty Queen murder trial, Georgia versus Trinity Madison P. The trial for Trinity Madison, a former Georgia beauty queen accused of murdering her boyfriend's 18-month-old son, Romeo Jackson Angeles, began this week and current ongoing as December 3, 2025. The trial is the second day of the witness testimony. So for those who don't know what the Georgia trial, a little rough explanation, like a brief summary about it, is Trinity Madison, former Miss Donaldsville 2023, stripped of her title after arrest. Victim, 18-month-old Romeo Angeles, also referred to as Jackson Daru, GD. Incident location. It is in Trinity's dorm room at Georgia Southwestern State University. Date of incident, January 14, 24. Charges, malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, and 2 counts of aggravated battery and cruelty to children in first degree. Plea not guilty. Yeah, 18 months old, yes. All right, here we go. Prosecution's arguments. District Attorney Louis R. Lamb argued in the opening statements that Trinity resented the child and inflicted fatal blunt force trauma to his head, and torso, while the child was in her sole care for a brief period. Text messages were cited with Trinity alleging express desire to punch the child. Medical experts are expected to testify that the injuries occurred just minutes before the child was brought to the emergency room with fresh bruising and no heart rate. Defense argument. Defense attorney W.T. Tim Gamble III argued that Trinity is an innocent victim and the case is based on suspicion without evidence. The defense highlighted Trinity's extensive babysitting experience and claimed that GBI investigation was flawed, pointing out no physical evidence, blood DNA, was found at the scene. They also suggested that the child's father, Julian Williams, gave conflicting stories at the hospital and may have been controlling. On Wednesday, December 3, the following witness testified that state in a murder trial for Trinity Madison, Julian J. Williams, the apparent biological father of the victim, Romeo Jackson Angeles, continued his testimony from previous day. Dr. Michael Bussman, a family practice physician at Phoebe Putney Health System, who was one of the first doctors to treat the child in an emergency room. Passion says, typical, there's nothing physical that links it to my client. Shtick, okay. Right. A family practice physician at Phoebe Putney Health System, who was one of the first doctors to treat the child in the emergency room. Dr. Jill Olick, a board-certified family medicine physician at Phoebe Putney Health System, who took over treatment after Dr. Bussman, Dr. Anthony J. Clark, an associate medical examiner from GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation Medical Examiner Office. Yeah, it's a bunch of clown stuff, Passion, right? All right, medical testimony. Dr. Bussman testified that the child arrived at the hospital not breathing, with no pulse, and was completely irresponsive. However, Passion's hilarious. Right. Arrived in the hospital not breathing, with no pulse, and was completely unresponsive after rescuation efforts. The medical staff noticed swelling on his face and back of his head. Dr. Bussman indicated was from the direct blow. Test also revealed the liver laceration. The word is, I said it wrong, it is... whatever. Word was lost. It doesn't matter. Okay. Dr. Bussman testified. Okay, and let's see what that is. Let's see this question right here. Yes, the prosecution has presented evidence aimed at demonstrating Trinity resentment toward the baby primarily through her alleged communications. During opening statements, District Attorney Louis Lamb told jurors that primary source of friction in the relationship between Trinity and child's father was that Trinity resented the child because the baby received more attention. All right. Trinity allegedly sent the text message to her roommate stating that she wanted to punch the child and they hated each other. Trinity wanted to have a child of her own with her boyfriend and was unhappy about being forced into a stepmother role with not that child. Trinity texted her roommate on the night before the incident asking to sleep elsewhere for a mental break from the child. This evidence was presented as the motive for the alleged crime, with prosecution arguing that Trinity was only person who could have inflicted fatal injuries during the time and she was alone with the child. The actual text message are expected to be formally entered into evidence as the trial progresses. Congratulations, Pussycat. It's an important milestone. Congratulations to you. You make very good cat videos. Zeus just sat in the power button, so I guess I shouldn't have said that. Oh, scared. Alright, that's pretty damning. It makes sense to want your own kid, but an extreme way to go about it. Yes, this is true. Definitely. Alright, let's see. Okay. How is the fence refuting this? Let's see. Defense is refuting the prosecution's claims of resentment by asserting that actions speak louder than words. Defense attorney Tim Gamble argued in opening statements that Trinity actions show she cared for the child, stating Trinity was the one who fed the child, she took care of him. Contextualizing text messages. While the text messages were cited by the prosecution in opening statements, they haven't been formally introduced into evidence yet. The defense is likely to challenge their interpretation when they are suggesting they were expressions of frustrations rather than a literal intent to harm or may have been taken out of context. Lack of physical evidence. The defense is focusing heavily on the absence of physical evidence, blood DNA in dorm room to suggest no crime occurred. They're charging the notion that P inflicted the injuries. Yeah, Aaron, Aaron says Moki and appeals. How is our chat valuable? Yeah, I don't know. Just people try to argue that we say things in the chat and it's reason for appeals, but it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So, one time there's trolls claim to be inside the jury room, and we're giving explicit information to chat, but that was false. But other times they try to use the chat as a way to justify things, but it's stupid. Yeah, in my opinion. But if someone has a better way of explaining it, go for it. Yeah. Challenging the investigation. An offense has been called the GBI's investigation a failure, pointing out that potential evidence like diaper with apparent blood was discarded without testing. This strategy aims to cast a general shadow of doubt over the state's entire case, including their theory of motive, shifting blame to the father. A significant part of the defense's strategy involves highlighting the victim's father's, Julian Williams, allegedly conflicting statements to hospital staff and law enforcement about the timeline of each event. They imply he could have been responsible, or that the investigation was based in focusing solely on Trinity. Yeah, Passion says, yeah, that's also fair. We say harsh things sometimes to help us vent, so we don't follow through. Suppose I want to hear her babysitting clients. Yeah, you're right. Moki says, one I saw was an appeal on ineffective counsel, and chat circle criticism was quoted. Oh, interesting. Aaron said, yeah, that's just silly. I wish we could effect a trial. Lori Daybell would have been shut down a long time ago. Facts. I believe we, like what Darrell Brooks said, that we have the power. I mean this in a literal sense. We have a lot of influence. But not like, I wish we had more influence, but they think of us as some sort of influence to snapshot our chat. Thank you, Moki, for explaining. I don't always understand these things. Characterizing Trinity possibility. The defense described Trinity as an 18-year-old honor student at JSW studying nursing with straight A's who had extensive babysitting experience, contrasting this positive characterization with prosecution narrative of resentful murder. Hashin said, I saw in Alicia Andrews' defense claimed that the judge was unfair and cited chat comments like she doesn't even let him speak. Yeah, Moki showed me that a couple of months ago, or a month or two ago, whenever it was. Yeah, I remember that one. I know, right, Aaron? Absolutely. Yeah. So that is a summary of the Trinity trial in Georgia and the Brian Walsh one. All right. Yes, Aaron, that's right. Absolutely. Yes. Okay, Pussycat, thank you for joining us. Peace, and good luck with that. All right. All right, so we did our review. Now I'm going to play the rest of that DEP trial that from yesterday we were talking about. Let's go here. Yes, passion. Bingo. Correctly. Very sweet passion to say to her. Nice. All right.
Morgan Tremaine.
All right. Good night, Aaron. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Take care.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case in the penalty of law?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tremaine.
Hello?
Would you please state your full name for the record?
Morgan Cliff Tremaine.
And what do you do for a living?
I produce esports events and design video games.
And in 2016, what did you do for a living?
I worked as the field assignment manager at TMZ.
What is TMZ?
TMZ is an entertainment news website and television show.
And what were your responsibilities as a field assignment manager for TMZ?
I was the go-between the news desk in the office and the reporters in the field, which you might know as paparazzi.
Approximately how many paparazzis were you in charge of?
At the time, it was about 20 in LA, a handful, maybe 3 in New York, and then 1 in DC.
And what were your responsibilities specifically as to the paparazzi?
It would be to dispatch paparazzi to various locations.
All right, Moki. Good night to you. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Based on tips or just direction dictated by having a list of sort of hot spots where celebrities would be.
And how were those tips received?
They were received either through tips that we received through our tip line or directly through news producers in the office.
And were tips frequently received directly from sources?
Very often the case, yeah.
And who were the type of sources that TMZ received tips from?
They would receive tips from, oftentimes it would be publicists, managers, agents, or B-list celebrities.
Lawyers?
And lawyers, definitely.
How are tips verified?
Tips are verified by an extensive process. If they come in through our tip line, we have to verify who sent it, that the source is truthful, and so they have to add their contact information, which is a field in that on that website for like name, phone number, things like that.
And how long did that process typically take?
If we receive a tip through the tip line, it could take a while because that would need to be, if it was a tip, we would need to verify it. If it was media, such as photos or videos, that would need to be extensively verified to ensure that the person sending it is the copyright holder and that we would have the legal ability to air it and distribute it.
And while working for TMZ, were you involved in any assignments related to Ms. Heard?
I was.
What was the first time you recall working on an assignment related to Ms. Heard?
I believe it was May 27th, 2016.
And what was your role in that assignment?
For that, Ms. Heard was filing a restraining order at a courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. So I dispatched camera people to that location.
Under what circumstances would you normally send paparazzi to a courthouse?
Only if we had been informed prior. It's not by any means a celebrity hotspot. We would only ever send people there if we had been tipped off that something was occurring and there was somebody present there.
And what footage was TMZ trying to capture at the LA courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
We were trying to capture Amber leaving the courthouse and an alleged bruise on the right side of her face.
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the LA courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and foundation.
What were they supposed to do?
Right. She's asking for, I don't think there's a foundation or
I'll
hearsay.
overrule the objection at this point. We'll see.
Go ahead, Mr. Tremaine.
Can you state the question again?
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the Los Angeles courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Their objective was to capture her leaving the courthouse, and then she was going to sort of stop and turn towards the camera to display the bruise on the right side of her face, the alleged bruise.
Did your team of videographers get the shot of Amber Heard?
We did.
What is the difference between receiving a tip from a news producer and any other source?
If it's any other source, it would have to be verified by copyright. If it was anything that was received directly through a news producer, then they go through that process to verify the source.
Did you do anything to verify the tip on May 27th, 2016 related to Amber Heard?
I did not,
Why not?
because it had come directly from a news producer.
Does that mean it had been verified?
It means that they had verified that tip and deemed that it was credible, and therefore a camera person needed to be dispatched.
After May 27th, 2016, were you involved in any other assignments related to Amber Heard?
Yes.
Can you tell me about those assignments?
The next one would have been August 6th, 2016, where she was giving a deposition.
So what did you do in relation to that tip?
I dispatched camera people to a parking lot adjacent to a law office in which she would be arriving to, so we could get the footage of her arriving for the deposition.
Do you typically send paparazzis to parking lots of law offices?
No, not at all.
Did you get the shot of Miss Heard on August 6, 2016?
We did.
After August 6, 2016, were you involved in any other stories involving Miss Heard?
Yes, I was.
And what story was that?
On the 12th, we received a video depicting Johnny Depp slamming some cabinets that was captured by Ms. Heard.
And what day was that?
I believe that was the August 12th
Of 2016?
of 2016, yes.
Can you describe to the jury how you received the video on August 12, 2016?
Yes, the video was sent in through our email tip line, which is an email distribution that goes to all the producers and to myself as the field assignment manager, because it often included celebrity locations. It came in as I recall,
Objection, hearsay.
He's just describing how it came in.
I think he's about to reveal hearsay, Your Honor.
I'll overrule for now. We'll see where it goes. Okay.
Please continue.
Passion says, news crews getting dispatched like law enforcement. Makes sense. They hang around together a lot. Hello, Lori. Good evening. I'm working 5-pack basketball game, just checking in. So, Lori, thank you for checking in on us. We're watching Morgan Termaine from the Depp trial. We're having a good conversation. It's we'll call a nice, calm chat. And yes, thank you for checking in. We hope you're doing well. Passion says news crews getting dispatched like law enforcement makes sense. They hang around together a lot. Yeah, it's kind of like two wings of the same bird. They have this similar way of deploying themselves and the way they operate, and they're closely associated. Yeah, that's true. It's and it's like a little bit of an army of their own. The news crews, certainly using the same tactics, and a lot of times there's people that are media personnel and police officers at the same time. So yeah, that's a good example of about them being close. Yeah.
Continue.
So I received that email, and it included a link from some unknown Dropbox type public website in which it contained that
Objection,
video.
Your Honor, hearsay. He's about to describe what comes from the Dropbox website, and that's...
So far, he's just said was a link from a Dropbox. We'll see the next question. Go ahead, next question.
So you received a link. What was in that link?
In that link was the video of Johnny Depp smashing the cabinets.
Okay. And you received this video in your inbox, correct?
I did.
What did you do once you received that video?
We downloaded it. We alerted the web editor who was sitting next to me at the time.
Hello there, G. Nice. I like your name. GSI Grateful Alien Net. I like that. So, yes, she says, my radiant treasure in all space. My radiant treasure of all the galaxies and dimensions. Welcome to the chat, G. I appreciate you. We are catching up with what we did last night with Morgan Termaine. We're just watching more of what we saw yesterday. And thank you for being with us. Passion says, 5-pack game. Sounds like a high bounce time. I hope you get a slam dunk, make like a tree and 3-pointer, and other encouraging basketball phrases. Yes. Very well said, Passion. I like that. Always like I like those witty words. Very well said. Okay. Now continuing. By the way, G, when I was learning about watches, because of like the different things that we research, yeah, there's all kinds of these different watches that are really rare, and they're really intricately made by different designers and stuff, and some of them from New York. It's really interesting to learn about. Yeah, the world of watches is quite complex as the watch itself, and like clocks and stuff. Yeah, so I was researching some of those types of different watches or things I'd never even heard of before, because there's usually the main ones that you hear about, like what the rappers wear, but I saw there's other types too that I didn't even know about. So it's my learning frenzy is still going on. Okay. Now back to Morgan Termaine, which I've talked to this guy in Law and Crime, by the way. I talked to him before. He's very nice.
We downloaded it, and then were instructed by the news producer to do what we call slap bumpers and a bug on it, which is putting the dun-dun-dun at the beginning end, and then putting a translucent watermark over it, which indicates copyright ownership.
Okay. After you did that, was it posted?
It was posted, yes.
Where was it posted?
It was posted to tmz.com.
Did you do anything else related to Amber Heard on August 12, 2016?
Yes, I received a tip that Amber Heard would be arriving at LAX, And so I dispatched camera people to film that exit, or her arrival to LAX, rather.
And why did you do that?
I was instructed to.
How long does it take to post a story after media's been received by TMZ?
After media's been received, it could take any length of time depending on who owns the copyright.
How does TMZ obtain copyright over images and videos?
The only way to obtain copyright over media would be if we shot it ourselves, if it was sent to the tip line, source verified that it was from the original copyright owner, and then either purchased from that person or given to us. And then the third option would be if it was directly given to us by the copyright holder, like a direct source.
And how long does it take to copyright something TMZ has received through the tip line?
It can take a while because you have to extensively verify that that person owns the copyright. And then possibly, it depends also if you can even get in contact with the person because they might not be super responsive immediately via phone or email that they provided. And then potentially you'd have to enter a negotiation with our clips and clearances department to figure out the cost of that media.
How long does it take for TMZ to obtain a copyright over something received directly from a source?
Something in the realm of 15 minutes just to do what I described before, which is putting bumpers and a bug on something and write the article and post it. It's pretty fast.
How much time had passed from the time you received the kitchen cabinet video to the time it was posted on TMZ?
About 15 minutes.
Did any other tabloids other than TMZ post this video?
Objection
No,
leading and calls for hearsay.
Did any other tabloids?
Overruled.
Mr. Tremaine, go ahead.
No, they did not.
And why not?
Because it was a TMZ exclusive.
And what does that mean?
It means the TMZ owns the copyright to it. So it can't be distributed by any other media source without backlinking to TMZ, and they wouldn't be able to upload that media without getting a copyright strike.
Have you seen the kitchen cabinet video that was played in this trial?
I have, yes.
How does that video that was played in this trial compare to the one you received on August 12, 2016?
When I had clicked the direct link that we received and watched the video in its entirety, it was much shorter than the video we had received, than the video that's been played in this trial. There was a bit at the beginning that was played here in which Ms. Hurd is seemingly sort of setting up the camera and getting into position. And then there's a bit at the end where she's seemingly snickering and looks at the camera. That part was not present in what we received.
Did TMZ edit the video?
No, not even a little.
Oh, okay, so, gee, that is very fascinating. It is a very detailed and engineered to perfection. A lot goes into it. Yeah, that is so cool. I didn't know that. And very brilliant. Yes. Yeah, the Patik, that one was the one I was researching. The first one you mentioned. And the other one, I may have heard of that, but not as familiar with the second one. But thank you. Yes, that is true from what I researched. And he went to Switzerland and Paris 40 years, all over the world. Watch is very intricate. Well, I'm glad that he did that, and very cool story to learn about. Yeah, great minds think alike. I like watches too. I have a pocket watch right here, actually, next to me. Yeah. So it's like a computer. It was like an original computer for them. Yes. And G says those are high end quality. If you go for the celebrity and famous and well made, you have your Rolexes and stuff, but they aren't as well made as the ones I mentioned. They just have names, resale value. Yeah, it's kind of like headphones, like named Beats by Dre, like the ones I'm wearing. It's like the name that you're buying. Right. And those are high in quality. And okay, I like watching that one gear that spins wildly when everything is in place. It's like a flywheel. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember there. I know one clock that I like. I like the grandfather clock. That one is cool. And the grandfather clock with the bells it makes, that's really a nice sound, and the way it's styled and the history behind it. Yeah, that's very elegant to it. Similar to like the type of woodwork that we saw in some of the courtrooms that we liked that we were talking about before. Yeah, there's a clock that I have that's similar to the Titanic clock. Not the staircase one, but the one that was in the when their ship was sinking and Mr. Andrews was changing the clock. It's kind of like similar to that one. It's very old, and I wound it up, and it kind of moves around for a second. It's lots of intricate things in it. So the cuckoo clock is really cool. I like the cuckoo clock because it has a little cuckoo that comes out. That was nice, and I like. In one of the horror movies from the Nosferatu from the 70s, they had the cuckoo clock, but it was a skeleton one. They had to design all that, so yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. So yeah, I'm glad that you told me about that, G, and I know the difference between like a name of a watch and a watch that actually works properly, right? Yes, that is true, G. From what I research about that brand, yeah, and I think that it's very well made looking, and it looks good, and it seems like it is the best one that's made from what I researched about it. Yeah, let's go here. All right, and G says he knew every detail like a serious expert in and why he worked for Torino. Look it up. So he owned his own business overseas till he came here U.S. and worked for that group. Okay, I've not heard of that one. Those mechanical clocks with the animated chimes, I've always wanted one of those. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I said it right. Torno. I said it right. Facts. Grandfather clock, very luxurious. Back in the day, so elegant, but today no one likes big furniture. All of them are very cool. I love the cuckoo clock and grandfather, the mechanical ones. They are super cool. Yes, yes. All right, and let's see what this is. Okay, Torno is a luxury watch retailer established in 1900 based in the United States. In 2018, it was purchased by a European retailer, Butcherer. I probably said that wrong, by the way. And yeah, very, very cool. And let's see, very detailed and serious expert. And well, it's good to know. It's good to know. Okay, thank you. Yeah, because when I was coming up at school, like the people like the rappers, and and all I knew about was the rapper type brands. So I'm glad to now know about these other ones. All right, and let's see. All those, yes. Okay, and it's like if you have an engagement ring made at real 47th Street Jeweler in New York City, that's the street you go to. They make you the same ring you get at K tier. You can pay 100K to have it made, unless it has those famous celebrity brands stamped in, it won't resell. Thank you, G. I didn't know that. Yeah, for jewelry in New York. Yeah, I know, look. I know about the in New York. There's a diamond district, and they make jewelry, and I think that's interesting. And they make these um, different gems and gold, and they'll melt it down and make it into something. I always like watching on YouTube. Oh, G says the Katir stamp, even if you paid less than what you had personally made a same diamond setter, it won't resell. That stamp from Van Cleve, a Rolex, will get you the money. Okay, thank you. Oops, like Chanel bags. You can make the identical bag. Let's say you were the one who made it for Chanel. That same bag won't sell unless it has the authenticated Chanel stamp. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Uh, Thank you. It has to do with the brand stamp, and it gives it its value. Right. Okay, let's go here. Okay, you won't get as much if you had it stamped. Okay. That's 47th Street. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm glad to know it's 47th Street. Okay. Oh, hello, Christine. Good evening to you. She said, yes, Pash, and it's all in the name. My uncles and mom literally worked for a company that made the jewelry for Emmy Award and Harry Winston, the highest end. Wow, that's very cool. Very cool. Highest end. But the piece my mom would have without that stamp from Harry Winston won't sell as well if she had it stamped. My uncles literally made those, and they made them for my aunts too. It won't sell. Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you for the information. Yeah, I guess like the stamp. It reminds me of Pawn Stars. Like, yeah, the stamp is the key to the success of the sale being high. And Alienette, I like that. Reminds me of France. The Yeah, I love that Alienette. That is beautiful. Very creative. Wow. Anyway, let's go back to the clock talk. Got me going. Okay. See, my first once at my because of the GSI long EOS, and people complained. Yeah. Oh yeah, they need permission. Yeah, you know what, Christine, I give you the divine permission to get that done. You could do it if you'd like. All right, hello Roxy, good to see you. Welcome. Good evening, Roxy. Passion says, when I was a teenager, everything had to be skater branded, or I wasn't really living my life properly. Brand. I lost that aspect of myself after my home was robbed. Nobody harmed. Passion, that is really messed up that you went through that. The robbery. I thank you for letting us know about that happened. But yeah, it just things that we really can't take with us, don't matter. But yeah, I it really can be a eye opening situation to see how wicked people can be. Yeah, thank you. I wanted my fave number 8, and GR stands something for me. I was like GR8 full. Then I was like, it might get all tight if I remove aliens. So Alienette, right? Roxy says Brian Walsh was crazy today. Yeah, I mean, I hear people saying that the Brian Walsh trial was. Um, there's some people saying he's like looks innocent, which I don't think he's innocent. I still think he's guilty in my opinion. But yeah, it's. I heard about it as being a wild day. Those things have market value, but not real value in life. It's just awful because imagine the same exact maker for those luxury brands without the store stamp item sells for less. Skater name brand, right? Oh, you get excited. Yeah, you get excited. Yes. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, the packet watches. Okay, let's talk about this right here and go. We'll, all right, let's do this. Health and safety are vital. That's true. Oh, Alien, you have no idea what my afternoon was like. I had to bolt out of here right away. I heard beeps left and right. Scared. It was the carbon monoxide detector. Oh, no. That sounds like a very tedious afternoon. Indeed. Right. And see, the door in this house, we are encoded with codes to get it whatnot. So I had to be an engineer for hours until I just fixed it right away before I got mine. Christine Alienette Angel. This way he is king. Oh well. Yeah. Right, Patrick, I was the same about Roxy Brand when I was younger. Oh, okay. Rip Curl here, that wavy logo just speaks to me. So I always like the accusatory eye logo from Brand No Fear. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting us know about that. Oh, too many aliens. Right. Let's see. Oh, you love aliens? Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, you like the Ancient Alien show? That's cool. Yeah. You'd marry any one of those guys. Yeah, yeah. They're very brilliant indeed. Right. Right. And okay, since you want to keep the aliens, yeah. Okay. So yeah, Christine, you could keep the angel in there. Christine Alienette Angel. How about that? Oh, okay. Right. And the we always kind of had a dark theme. I like dark stuff, but so yeah, Kristen, you could say Alienette Angel because you would still have the angel in there if you wanted to change the Alienette Angel. Yes, it's very nice. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that's a cool brand, Shaza, that you're talking about. The eyes look cool. Let's go here. Not only are we ladies, oh, plus it's edgy and cute to be Alienette. I mean, think about it. Aliens are mysterious. Yes, that is true. That is true. Oh, that's hilarious, Roxy. Pillar of Iron. Okay. Yeah, it gives the chef's kiss. Right. The Paquette, no, the Patek Philippe brand overview. Established in 1839, Patek is an independent family owned Genevian watchmaker widely considered benchmark for the fine watchmaking. They are renowned for their exceptional craftsmanship, technical prowess, especially complications, and limited production, which makes their timepieces highly valuable and sought after by collectors. Yeah, E.T. Yeah, that was a funny one. Christine the Alien Angel. Yeah, I remember Gremlins. I watched the Gremlin movie from the 80s. I think Gremlins are interesting. Notable Patek collections. The collection is Brand's classic elegant dress watch. First introduced in 1932, it is known for its round case, clean lines, and timeless minimalist design, often considered the quintessential dress watch. All right, G says dark stuff is not for you, alien, or at least don't call it. Let's call it mysterious. JC doesn't want to hear we like darkness. Okay. We like okay, G, understood. We do like mysterious things. That's a taste of mine that I like. Roxy of Iron. I had a little stuffed animal gremlin, so cute. Oh, that's cute. Nice. Okay, Nautilus, designed by Granetta, launched in 1976, redefined the luxury sports watch with distinctive porthole inspired octagonal case and integrated bracelet. Steel models, in particular, are among the most sought after and exclusive watches in the world. Gremlin of Iron, Devil in Disguise. It's a cool name, making Iron Gremlin Roxy. Yeah. Scared. Aquanaut. Introduced in 1997 as a sportier, more modern take of the Nautilus, the features the rounded octagonal case and durable tropical rubber strap. It appears to younger audience seeking casual elegance. Yeah, bad juju. That is true, G. Yes, yes. Thank you for protecting me, G. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, 24. Launched in 1999, this collection is designed specifically for women, offering versatile and elegant timepieces in both cuff style and round automatic variations. Facts. Well, Roxy, the Titan, is like it's the gods. Although the Titanic sank, it's also a Titanic. But of course that sank. But the the unsinkable Roxy. That's a good one. Like Molly Brown was the unsinkable Molly Brown. She was in the Titanic and she did a lot of noble things, and she lived. Shakespeare was the first person to refer to a beautiful woman as an angel on record. Ah, thank you, Passion. I would think he would have. I learned about Shakespeare, remember, in 7th, 8th grade. We did a whole thing about him. And his theater that he had, and they did the plays at, was very, very interesting. The Globe. That was a good one. Don't want to lead anyone or be headed of anyone. Yeah, G, and you're not leading anybody or being ahead of anybody. You're fine in your position you are in. And oh, that was so sweet, Christine says, GSI, you are the head of the Angels. Oh, that's very sweet. I didn't see that for a second. Oh, that's very sweet. G said, I do enough around here. I'd rather be led, believe it or not, taken care of. I do much as it is. Okay, G. But that was very sweet of you, Christine, to say to G. Yes, Passion. I am not. That certainly is true. That's what they were doing back then. Yeah, throughout history as well. Yeah. All right. Roxy says. And Christine says, "Oh, an alienette. Oh, it's the secretary and second boss. Stay there. I'll be an angel. It's the right thing." Yeah, yeah. Yes, G. Amen. I agree. Reading an article about that this year that scientists found out Shakespeare's had romantic relationships with men too. He was okay. He may have been bi then. All right. Thank you for letting us know. I suppose at that time it was being, stuff like that was being explored. Thank you for letting us know. Oh yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. He was a very good writer. I like his work. I like his mysterious work he does. He did. Yeah. Let's see, Cuckoo. Yeah, Roxy, right. Yes, very sweet, G. Likely miss. Okay, so cuckoo clocks originate in Germany's Black Forest region, 18th century, and are known for its distinctive design, often resembling a small house or chalet with a little door from which cuckoo birds emerge and chime the hours. Huh? What? Chalet? Oh. Okay, thank you. Cuckoo sound. The characteristic of cuckoo sound is produced mechanically in traditional clocks by two small bellows and pipes, the miniature organ that pushes the air through them. One below produces the coo sound, and the other is coo, coo. Sound. The modern battery-operated quartz clock. The sound is often electronic recording. You liked that? You liked Edgar? You loved the Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, awesome, awesome. Mechanical movement. These traditional clocks are powered by weights shaped like pine cones hanging from chains. Gravity causes the weights to descend slowly, driving the clock's internal gears and pendulum that regulates the time. They need to be wound regularly by pulling the chains, either daily movement or weekly 8-day movement. Passion says, I think the jury was still easy on her manslaughter for the evidence and presented better than nothing, but sets a precedent that side chicks can participate. Yes. Oh, thank you, Roxy, for information. Okay. Okay. Let's go here. Let's see what happened today in Walsh. Give you a summary about what happened today in the Walsh trial. Oh, me too, G. My ex liked writing poetry a lot. Also. Wednesday, December 3, 2025, the third day of witness testimony in Brian Walsh murder trial, focused heavily on physical and digital evidence, including blood-stained items found in trash facilities and testimony from witnesses confirming Anna Walsh never traveled to her husband's, as her husband claimed. Light ends yelling at the screen. Forensic evidence, Massachusetts. State Police forensic scientist Davis Gold testified about analyzing evidence found in trash bags from a transfer station near Walsh's mother's home. Items include hacksaw, hatchet, and hammer, the Tyvek suit, bathrobes, towels, and slippers, Anna Walsh's vaccination card, boots, and Prada purse. Gold noted that many items had red-brown stains and that Anna Walsh's DNA was found on several items, including the hatchet and hacksaw. On cross-examination, he acknowledged he couldn't confirm the exact timing or cause of the staining. Exactly, Christine. I agree. Anna Walsh's travel disappearances, representatives from Uber, Lyft, JetBlue, and U.S. Customs and Broader Protection testify that there were no records of Anna Walsh using their services to leave the area after returning from a trip in early December 22. This evidence directly contradicted Brian Walsh's initial claims to police that she took a ride share to the airport for emergency work trip on New Year's Day 2023. And he's saying he didn't do it. I will never get this country, even though I legit grew up here since very young girl. Right. Picture of his bloody slippers with a big chunk of her hair sticking to it. Yeah, right, exactly. Why do they allow trials for cases that are so obviously, it reads, dumbs down the country names while Europeans and Asians and Middle Easterns laugh at us? Yeah, I agree. In these other countries, they do things much different, and they get things done. So yeah, I could see where some trials are so ridiculous that it's like a waste of time and taxpayer money. And I agree with you, G, very much. Yes. All right. Life insurance policy. Mark of Selvagi, an insurance agent, testified that Anna Walsh had purchased over 1 million life insurance policies in 2021, naming Brian as the sole beneficiary. Defense used cross-examination to highlight that Anna received a high health rating after a medical assessment, which they suggested undercut the prosecution's narrative that she died of unexplained medical evidence claimed by the defense. When sometimes my mom says if she's giving me something, she has a note and says, give it to Chrissy. Okay. Hatchets are like golf clubs, more dangerous than appear first glance. Concentrated force heavy point. Think of a baseball bat turned to perfection for impact, and you get the golf club. Thank you, Passion. Information. Alright. Landlord's testimony. The Walsh's landlord, Peter Capozoli, testified that Brian called him in January 23 after Anna was reported missing about security cameras in adjacent business, which the prosecution suggested was attempted to monitor potential police surveillance. It made me so sad I can't believe he gets time of the day right to fight for himself while he deleted her. It's not right to BH. His voice is heard while hers is silence. And threw away her body outfit in that day. Yeah, makes you very sad too. It's like certainly a sad, unfair situation. Completely. Grandparents said it more like Chrissy. Oh, that's cute. Okay. G said, I mean, he did the crime, and yet we are praising him, giving him all his time, money. Like he's making a fool of the U.S. citizens. He's making a fool of the courts and U.S. citizens, and all to be, fair. And it's like sometimes, even if it doesn't look fair, it has to be done. So, yeah, it's like some of the clear as day. It's I could see where it's just making it into a laughingstock. Going down here, and what's this?
When we receive something and it's edited, there's a clear indicator because there's sort of a journalistic practice that uses when there's an edit, you do what's called like a white flash transition, which covers the entire screen with white to very clearly indicate to everybody there was an edit here for time or whatever, just to make it a little more compelling. But in this case, it was not edited, as I was staring at the machine that edited it and present for the entirety of receipt to publishing.
When was the next time you worked on an assignment related to Amber Heard?
It was, there was the time where we went to the airport. And then the day after that, because she had flown in for the deposition, because I think the first time didn't work out. So she was arriving again for the deposition in that same parking lot adjacent to a law office.
And what's that, August 13th, 2016?
That was August 13th, yeah.
And what was your assignment on August 13th, 2016?
To dispatch camera people to that parking lot at a specific time in order to film Amber Heard arriving for the deposition.
How did you know that tip was legitimate?
It came from a news producer.
While you worked at TMZ, did you ever receive any communications from Mr. Depp or his camp?
I did not.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Yes. So how did you know what video was shown at this trial?
I was alerted by a friend that that TMZ was being kind of talked about in this trial, and so I had seen a clip of that.
Okay, so you watched some of this trial?
Correct.
Okay. When did you first reach out to counsel for Mr. Depp?
I believe that was 6 days ago, whatever that date would be. I'd have to do that.
All right. And then you received a subpoena, I think yesterday, in care of your attorney, Cindy Hickox, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Cindy Hickox represents Christy Dombrowski, Kate James, Robin Baum.
Objection,
and
Your
Debbie
Honor.
Lloyd. Were you aware
Calls
of
for
that?
speculation.
Overruled.
Were you aware of that?
No.
Okay. Now, if you don't have information that's helpful to this case, then you wouldn't be a witness, correct?
Objection. Calls for
can't.
speculation.
Sustained. Sustained. Next question.
I'm not aware.
Okay. You know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
it? I can ask that question.
Overruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr. Depp's attorneys were well aware of the TRO that was going to be presented on May 27th?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Were you aware of that?
Lack of foundation.
Overruled if you can answer it.
Can you restate the question?
Were you aware that Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys were aware that Amber Heard was going in to seek a TRO on May 27th?
I don't think I understand the question. I don't think so, no.
Okay.
kind of a
Do you
complicated
know whether Blair Burke, one of Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys, had a very close relationship with TMZ at that time?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Overruled. If he knows.
I was not aware of that.
Okay. And when you said that you were dispatched twice, once to film Amber in a parking lot for the deposition, and then it didn't work out, and so you had to do it another time, how did you know it didn't work out?
Because TMZ.com posted an article saying as much.
Okay.
And
Do you
I was
know-
not dispatched.
Do you
I
know
worked in the office.
why the deposition did not work out?
I'd have to reference the article, I forget.
So do you know?
I didn't write that story. I wasn't involved in the
Do
actual
you know
journalism of that.
which side? Do you know which side would have known or not known whether that deposition was going to work out? In other words, the people representing Mr. Depp or the people representing Ms. Heard?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. And then the video clip. You don't know who provided that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Not testifying to
I have
that.
no further.
All right. Redirect.
Mr. Tremaine, why did you contact me in relation to this case?
I saw that there was a discrepancy with like the video that was shown here and the video that I know I had received. So I had no interest in testifying. I had reached out simply to maybe try to help with the timeline of things or help with the case in any way, just by virtue of understanding the timeline of the stories that were published and kind of how that can be unclear. But I had no idea I'd be on the stand.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, sir, you're free to go.
Thank
Thank you. All right. You have another witness? Okay.
Mr. Depp calls Brian Newmeister, Your Honor.
All right, Brian Newmeister. He has not been sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case on penalty of law?
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Newmeister.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state your full name for the record?
It's Norbert, Norbert, Brian, I go by Brian, Bryan, Newmeister, Neumeister.
Could you start by describing your educational background, please?
My educational background, well, I graduated from Cal State University Northridge 42 years ago with a degree in political science. From then on, I've been working professionally in photography, totally unrelated, for the past 42 years. And that would also include videography, audio, and a few other different binary-related tasks.
Where do you currently work?
I own USA Forensic.
What is USA Forensic?
USA Forensic is a digital forensics company. We are boutique. We're very small. We work. We have offices in Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan, and in Phoenix, Arizona. We work with varying types of clients because to us, data is data, and it takes no side. So we can end up working for prosecution, defense, law enforcement, the Innocence Project. We have a contract with the Department of Defense. We do classified and unclassified work. We've done classified work with various agencies. We've worked with DOJ, and I've worked in 23 countries as a photographer.
What's your title at USA Forensic?
CEO.
Did you also found USA Forensic?
Originally, around 1990, it was called Skymeister, and that is because of the amount of helicopter photography time I have. About 10 years ago, we changed it to USA Forensic while still doing a lot of the same tasks.
And you described, I think, some of the entities that you work with. What kind of work do you do for those entities that you mentioned?
We do audio forensics, which is clarifying audio, for example, sting operations or audio that may have been picked up on surveillance or any other type of recording, removing background sounds. Video clarification, we do a lot of work with Axon
Your Honor, I'm
cameras.
just going to object on relevance based on the discussion we had earlier. This experience has absolutely nothing to do with anything.
All right. Do you have an objection to him being moved in as an expert in the field?
Well, she hasn't moved yet. I'm objecting to the relevance of the testimony on the subject matter right now.
I'll overrule the objection. Thank you, Your Honor. Go ahead, Mr. Neumeister. You can continue.
Where I left off is we do a lot of work with Axon police cameras because they don't really handle low lux levels or low light levels very well. So we clean up. We are beta testers for a program called Input ACE, which is part of the Axon company used by police officers. We clarify their cameras to better see what happened at night, for example, in different scenes. We do the same with surveillance cameras, any kind of camera, cell phone cameras. We also do cell phone forensics, computer forensics, and cell tower forensics, along with photographic forensics.
What types of cases do you work on?
It can be anything from Fortune 500s to it can be anything from a pro per, which is a person that's actually just representing themselves in a smaller case, to a lot of homicide cases, defamation. It can be any kind of case that requires cell phone extractions or computer extractions. Could be money laundering, could be the Department of Defense identifying a voice, that type of thing. Satellite imagery, basically anything with binary information.
Have you been retained as an expert before?
Oh, yes. I would say we average about 150 to 200 cases a year. In the last 4 years, we've done over 600 cases, and that would be in U.S. federal courts, U.S. district courts, various state courts throughout the United States. We just wrapped up a case that was an overseas case, wrapped up yesterday. We do U.S. military court. We have a case coming up in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. So it's really varied. I've done quite a few U.S. district court cases.
Have you testified as an expert in digital forensics before?
Yes, and what people sometimes don't understand is only about 2% of all cases go to trial. So 98% of the time you're actually just doing the forensic work and getting it to the parties. And as we say, data is data. It really doesn't take a side. We don't have a narrative. So very often it's just providing the data for the attorneys to work with or the parties.
Have you ever been excluded from testifying as an expert regarding any work that you performed?
No, but you have to take into account that sometimes there might be curbs put on. For example, in this trial, there's certain boundaries. Or if you're working with a pro per or with a attorney that is not very familiar with electronics. And the thing is, again, they teach Latin in law school, not binary, and binary is the universal language these days. So sometimes in the legal system, it's a little bit hard to explain to attorneys what exactly we're doing, so we try to break it down and make that work.
What is digital forensics?
Digital forensics is anything that you are using, like your television set, your cell phone, your computer, anything that runs off of binary information that has coding in it.
How long have you worked in digital forensics?
Well, I actually started off in analog, so it's been 40 some odd years. I started off as a cameraman. My first cameras were film cameras. When I was a kid, my dad was a director of sales and sales service administration for the NBC television network on the West Coast. So I grew up around television cameras. My first cameras were cameras people might not have heard of, Leica, Hasselblad, cameras like that. I trained with some of the best photographers around at the time, William Wallner, Niall Latham, really excellent photographers. And I started shooting videotape from helicopters, and I logged about 14,700 hours of video. And at that time, oddly enough, since we were the only helicopter, a television helicopter, we were the only helicopter in Phoenix. At the time, the sheriff's department did not have a helicopter. The police department did not have a helicopter, nor did Aerovac. So we ended up doubling up, being a news crew as well as an air rescue crew. So as far as forensics, analog probably from 1980 to 1990, and digital from 1990 through current.
How'd you get started in it?
Really by osmosis. I started in the production field. I usually don't do that much TV work anymore. I did shoot part of an episode, a program called Planet Earth for the BBC last year. I don't normally do television anymore. It's just 99% forensics. But I got started because very often, as working in a helicopter, we'd be asked to work for a police department in a rescue or a chase or whatever the situation might be. And since I'd be videotaping it, they would ask me to break it down frame by frame and analyzing it using what's called a time-based corrector in the day. And so word got out that I could do unusual things because I'm pretty good with machines. And it just ended up, more and more people started calling, and it just became a full-time job.
Have you received any professional certifications in forensics?
Yes, but again, most hackers and people who do interesting work don't have any certifications, because the certification is usually like a week-long course. I've been doing this stuff 42 years. My partner, Matt Erickson, he's actually a...
Objection, Your Honor, to the partner who's not testifying to these qualifications on relevance.
Sustained objection.
Yep. Mr. Neumeister, can you just describe which professional certifications you have received?
For cell phones, Oxygen, which is a program similar to Celebrite. But these are programs that are used by law enforcement and by private parties to extract data from cell phones that has been deleted, or which is critical in a lot of cases, deleted data, or just to what we call image a cell phone. In other words, get every bit of data that's possible on a cell phone. And again, every cell phone is different. The next would be in cell tower forensics.
Are you a member of any professional associations in your field?
Yes, the IEEE, which is the International Engineering Society, and the reason I belong to that is about 40% of the world's white papers on electronics are published through IEEE. So they have a huge database on anything from microwave technology to telephone transmission technology. Anything that I might work with, they might have a white paper on it. Also, with the Audio Engineering Society, AES, I'm a member of that. I lecture to AES. There's a few others, but again, they're just mainly to have a repository of information.
Have you received any honors or awards?
Yes, I've received about 80 honors and awards. I have, for videography, I've got a total of 12 Emmy Award statues, but I've been the principal in 39 Emmy Awards, which means I've written the music for the program, and the program has won the Emmy Award for music, but it was given to the production company, which happens a lot. I won for Best Editing. I won for Best ACE Editing, which is computer editing. Best Sound. I've won, done the music to a piece that won the Gold Lion at the Cannes Film Festival. I've done music to a piece that won the gold at the Calgary Film Festival. I've got a lot of awards from Associated Press and different companies for doing documentaries and news.
Have you published any works in the field of digital forensics?
Yes, and they're mostly articles, about a half dozen of them or so. We don't have much time, and I don't usually do it, but it was basically on most of my work deals around clarifying or authenticating. So it was basically the things I published were on clarification of digital files.
Have you appeared on TV as an expert in digital forensics?
Yes.
Where?
CBS, NBC, ABC, BBC, Discovery Channel, a number of different things.
Any particular examples of things that you've spoken on TV about?
Boston bombings, how the frame averaging was done on that, sort of things like that. Again, we get calls a lot, but I don't speak specifically about cases. I just speak about technology.
Have you given any public lectures in the field of digital forensics?
Yes, we get asked quite often, but due to our schedule, it's a little rough. We do what's called Inns of Court. We speak in front of private investigative groups. We do attorneys continuing legal education. Audio Engineering Society. We try to do a few a year, and that's about what our schedules will allow given our time.
Your Honor, at this point, I'd like to tender Mr. Neumeister as an expert in the field of digital forensics.
Any objection?
No objection,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
so moved.
Mr. Neumeister, turning to the work you've done in this case, what have you done?
I was asked to analyze the photographs of purported injuries to Miss Heard.
And what was the purpose of that analysis?
To authenticate photos or to review and see if they were altered in any way.
What did you analyze to reach your opinions?
Well, I analyzed groups of photos that were submitted by Miss Heard's legal team.
What work did you do to analyze those photographs?
Well, normally you start off by looking at what's called the EXIF data. The EXIF data
specifically said.
Well, I have a question though, okay?
Sorry.
So that's okay. Ask your next question.
Would it be fair to say by the video footage that there was no brawl or punches thrown by either party? Would that be fair to say?
There was.
Can we show the witness the video again?
Are you asking her whether the video shows a brawl?
Would it be fair to say that the video shows a brawl in which you just said that punches were thrown? That'd be fair to say.
Okay, so what's a brawl to you?
You can't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know.
Okay,
I think
well.
hold on, Mr. Brooks, are you trying to ask whether are you going to confirm with her that she saw the video and then on that video you cannot see a brawl between her and Mr. Brooks? Is that what you're trying to get at?
A version of that, yes, but I was
You got to ask the questions though to get to that.
Can the video be shown to her again?
Ask your questions, sir.
In the video that you saw, would it be fair to say that a brawl was not depicted on that video? Would that be fair to say?
I don't know big words. What's depicted?
Can you see it in the video? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes, I could see it.
You could see the brawl?
Yeah, I say it's a brawl. It's just a couple, it's just like a push, looks like a push, but it was a smack. And I got up and, yeah.
You got up, so you.
I got up and swung.
You were knocked to the ground?
No.
So where did you get up from?
From being pushed and smacked.
So you fell to the ground?
I didn't fall to the ground.
Sustained. Next question, sir.
So would it be fair to say that in the video it shows you being knocked to the ground?
I was not knocked to the ground. I staggered back.
Would it be? I got kind of thrown off for a second.
You and me both. People need to make sure their phones and other electronics are not audible.
Would it be fair to say that the video does not show you being knocked to the ground at any point? Would that be a fair assessment?
So I'll object to relevance because the witness never testified that she was knocked to the ground. So this is not a question aimed at her credibility.
She just said she got knocked to the ground.
She did not.
She
said she got up. I'm sorry. She said she got up, which would constitute being, if you're not knocked to the ground or down,
war
you can't
words
get up.
here, Mr. Brooks.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, she was clear. I think she clarified what it meant by getting up, and it might mean something different to you than it does to her. But we need to keep going.
So can I ask what is getting up? What does getting up mean to you?
Stagger back.
So it would be fair to ask you then, does the video show you staggering back?
It does.
Does it show you being, as you called it, smacked?
It does.
Can we show her the video again?
Go ahead. Play the video. You want it to the jury or to her?
To her.
I would ask that we publish it.
I think it's an exhibit, sir, and let's publish it. Okay.
Your Honor, would it be too much to ask if we went straight to that part of the video?
I don't know what part it is. I don't have the timestamp.
I'm guessing this might be it right here.
It's coming up.
Let's just watch, and then we'll ask questions. You'll ask questions when we're done watching.
So we're playing from 3 minutes and 9 seconds on Exhibit 3.
You can stop. That's
All right, what's the time for the stopping of the video, please?
3 minutes and 47 seconds.
All right, your question for her then, based on that?
My question would be, you just viewed the video again. That'd be fair to say.
I did.
At any time in that video, were you in fact smacked and staggered back?
Can I tell the exact time?
If you know, yes, go ahead.
At 3:23.
Can we see 3:23?
Go ahead. We'll start it a little bit before, so make sure to capture it. You should be able to see the time.
24.
Okay.
So we went from about 3:19 to 3:27.
Thank you. Your question regarding the video, sir?
My question again would be the same question. You just saw it again. In the portion of the video you just saw, would it be fair to say, on your part, your interpretation, that you were in fact smacked and staggered back?
Yes.
Next question.
Are you sure you weren't over-exaggerating that?
No.
It looked like a push.
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
Would you say again what happened directly after that?
Directly after the smack,
Directly after what you say is a smack?
staggered back.
No, directly after that whole incident.
I call it get up, but I came back and swung.
Would it be fair to say that the video doesn't show any of that you just said? Would that be fair?
It shows it somewhere.
So would it be fair that you're saying your interpretation of what you just saw would constitute a brawl, as you say, or brawling it out, as you say?
Hold on, Mr. Brooks. I've given you a lot of leeway on this topic. What's the relevance of all of this at this point? I think you made your point about what happened and what didn't, and what's in the video and what's not, and the jury can ultimately decide that. You can argue it later on to the jury.
I'm sorry, I thought this state
Where are we
was
going?
supposed to object to that. If they saw an objection, I'm a little confused about that.
I need the questioning to kind of circle back to what's relevant for the trial.
Well, I thought it was relevant because of what the video is actually depicting.
And that video is going to speak for itself. It's been an exhibit.
Yes, it does.
And so you've asked a lot of questions about it. So let's move on. Under 906.11, that's my authority. I'm telling you to move forward. Next line of
Did
questioning.
you hear anything after the, as you say, brawling out? Did you hear anything coming from the vehicle? Was anything said to you directly coming from the vehicle at that point?
Do you understand the question?
Would it be after you leave? Oh wait, Brooks leaves? Or when
I was
Brooks gets
clearing
in?
what I just asked after the brawling it out.
But you asked directed at her, and then you said anything from the vehicle. So that's a compound question. So you need to be specific.
Did you hear anything after the brawling it out, as you say? Did you hear anything directed towards you?
Directed towards me? No.
Did you hear anything directed towards Nick?
I remember something being said.
Do you recall what was said?
I do not.
Did you hear anything directed towards Erica?
Yes.
What did you hear directed towards Erica?
At what time?
Right after the brawling it out, as you say. Did you hear anything directed specifically towards Erica?
Not till he left. No, not till Brooks left.
Would you say that again?
Not till Brooks left.
So, did you or did you not hear anything directed towards Erica after the brawling it out, as you say?
Oh, okay, no.
So, can we pull that statement up again?
Go ahead. The state would do that once again. Just to the preview.
I'm reading directly from this statement where it says,
Mr. Brooks, it may or may not be a statement, so you need to be accurate. I know you're referring to
the
a police report.
summary of the statement. I'm reading directly from the summary of the statement where it says, Runkle stated that after a short dispute between her, Kirby, and Brooks, she saw Brooks get back into the red SUV and heard him saying something to the effect of "F you effing bees, you're dead," as he was leaving.
So I'll object on 2 grounds. 1, asked and answered, and 2, this could confuse the witness because it's not a direct, it's not, she used the F and the B.
Sustained.
It was something on the back end of that I didn't get to.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, sir, but you've already asked that question before, so the objection is sustained.
I actually don't recall asking a question directly to that part of the summary.
I do. You read through that previously.
Do you remember what the question was so that I don't re-ask the same question?
Mr. Brooks, move on.
Did you ever hear something to the effect of "F you effing bees, you're dead"?
I did.
At what point did you hear that?
While Brooks was leaving.
So that would it be fair to say that you heard that after the brawling
Yes.
it out?
You shook your head. Can you say
Yes.
Thank you.
That's a little confusing. So
Mr. Brooks, that's not a question. You're attempting to
I'm
testify.
about to ask a question.
You
If I
can't
can
do
get
that.
to it,
Ask your question. But you also can't mischaracterize the testimony or the evidence up to this point.
what do you mean?
In your questions, you can't mischaracterize prior testimony or evidence. You have to be accurate. So
I'm trying to be, but it's
what's your next question, sir?
kind of hard. Just a quick second.
Right, unless you have a different topic.
It is.
Anything related to this, what's in the summary, the questions regarding what she heard or didn't hear around this time, we've gone through that, you've gone through it. Under 906.11, you need to move on and ask a new line of questions.
I was trying to, if I can get to it.
Go ahead.
This part of the summary that I'm looking at now says Runkle stated that she did see pictures of Brooks following the Christmas parade incident via social media, and Runkle confirmed that was Brooks was the, well, I don't know, it looks kind of, I don't know if that's a mark on my screen that's going through, okay. I couldn't read it.
I'll object. I don't think there was a question there.
Right.
I didn't get to it yet.
Well, then I'll object to the ongoing commentary with lack of any questioning.
And I'll sustain that objection.
Oh, I do have a question. You said that you had known Erica roughly since you were rooming up at the women's shelter. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Do you have any idea why she would refer to you as Corey Gray?
Because I go by that.
So how close would you say you guys were?
Close.
Close, like hung out all the time, every day?
Yes. Hung out every day. Sorry.
And do you know of any time before November the 21st of 2021? Do you know of any time before that Erica mentioned to you anything about the relationship that she had with Brooks outside of what you learned that day?
Can you say that again?
At any time before November 21st of 2021, did Erica ever confide any information to you before that day?
She did.
What was the nature of the information?
It's not allowed to be brought up.
I think she's referring to a pretrial ruling that she's aware of.
Yep.
So, you want to rethink asking that question, sir? Otherwise, I'm going to allow her to answer it.
What pretrial?
I'm not going to state.
No,
that
I'm not.
right now.
Are we both privy to the same pretrial procedure?
There was a pretrial ruling about.
Do you want her to answer that question, or do you want to move on?
I want to move on.
All right, I'll strike that question from the record. The jury will disregard the question that was asked.
So I would want to ask, was there any, during the brawling out point, was there any interaction between the driver of the vehicle and Nick?
There was.
Do you remember what the nature of that interaction or exchange was between those two?
I don't know. I just remember jumping in front.
Do you recall any threats being made towards Nick or from Nick towards the driver of the vehicle?
Oh, I do.
Relevance.
Overruled. She may answer.
I do.
Do you remember what was said specifically?
Not specifically, but I remember Brooks getting mad because Nick was coming to Erica's rescue. Right along with Corey. Me.
Do you recall any knife being involved in any of that situation
No
during
knife.
that exchange whatsoever?
No knife.
Were you aware that that was why police was responding to that incident?
I did not.
Did you at any time have a knife during that incident?
I did not.
Do you know if Nick had a knife during that incident?
He did not.
Do you know if Erica had a knife Do you know if Erica had a knife during that incident?
She did not.
As far as your memory, do you recall reporting that a knife was involved in that incident?
I do not.
Do you recall if Nick reported a knife being involved in that incident?
It's possible.
Do you recall Erica reporting that a knife was involved in that incident?
I do not.
You testified to drinking a half pint of vodka that day. Was that the only thing you had to drink that day?
Yes.
would it be fair to say that you were tipsy?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you may even have been intoxicated?
No.
For any reason that day, acknowledging that you were drinking, would that have impaired your thinking of the situation in any way?
No.
So would it be fair to say that you were of clear and sober mind during that whole incident after drinking a half pint of vodka?
Yes.
So there, to the best of your memory, there wouldn't be any reason why you may have left something out or maybe not been clear about anything that happened during that specific incident?
Possibly left some things out.
Do you remember what they might have been?
No.
Do you know the plaintiff?
Objection. For previous reasons.
Sustained.
Have you ever seen the plaintiff?
Objection.
Sustained.
Have you ever had any interaction with the plaintiff?
Objection.
Sustained.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any redirect?
Very, very briefly, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Ms. Runkle, you met with Detective David Van Els to provide a statement on November 22nd of 2021. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That's accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Van Els, when he was asking you about this incident, that when you arrived you heard Daryl Brooks telling Erica Patterson that he was going to, quote, smash her face in and that he was going to kill her, end quote?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Van Els that as you saw Brooks get back into the red SUV, you heard him say something to the effect of, quote, fuck you, fucking bitches, you're dead, end quote?
I do.
Okay. During your cross-examination, you repeatedly referred to a person as Brooks. The person depicted in the video, Exhibit 3, the person that you chested up to, is that person in the courtroom?
He is.
Can you point him out for us and just very clearly tell us where he's sitting, what he's wearing?
You want me to point?
Yes, please.
All right, he's right there and he's wearing orange.
I'd ask the record to reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
It will.
And I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this will be an excellent stopping point for us this evening. Thank you for your patience. This evening, I do need to go through one instruction with you. Do not begin your deliberations and discussion of the case until all the evidence is presented and I have instructed you on the law. Do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else until your final deliberations in the jury room. This order is not limited to face-to-face conversations. It also extends to all forms of electronic communications. Do not use any electronic devices such as a mobile phone or computer, text, or instant message. Thank you. All rise for the jurors. Mr. Brooks, I want to commend you for a couple of things. Number one, asking to come back into the courtroom. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. I think it runs much smoother when you are here. assuming you follow all the rules, which you have done a very good job at this afternoon. I also want to commend you on cooperating with the process even before you were brought over here. You were respectful, but you also made appropriate objections. You asked questions on cross-examination. Despite not wanting to unmask at first, you did do that, and I appreciate that. You asked some cogent, relevant questions, some of which went directly to the credibility of the witness. I would add, you might not always artfully ask the questions, but I think you're making some solid points. I would encourage you to keep prepping, to have questions written out based on the materials that you have. I really appreciate that you came back over and that you've been following the rules. I also want to encourage you, sir, to, if you choose, to wear your suit or other street clothes. It is your choice. I will let you make that choice. But I encourage you to consider that. I don't think there's anything we need to address other than perhaps timing. We went a little bit late here tonight, so I think I'm going to have the jurors report. I tell them we're going to bring them into the courtroom at 9. That usually means a little bit earlier with their protocol. We'll still start at 8:30 to address any housekeeping items at that point in time. Is there anything the state wants to address right now, or any record you want to make?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Brooks, anything you want to address right now, or any record you want to make?
No, just thank you for giving me a chance to come back in, and I appreciate what you said.
It works well when you're here, sir. I hope we continue
Say
this.
something very, very quick. I was waiting for my COVID results to come back before I feel comfortable getting back dressed up. So I kind of just prefer to just stay in the orange right now.
All right, that's your choice.
They said I should be having the results hopefully by the time I get back. I might know something. If not, I'll know something tomorrow morning. So that would be a big influence on.
Okay, fair enough. The other thing is I had not been utilizing an all rise. Sometimes you stand, sometimes you don't. It is something I'd like to go back to, especially as it relates to the jurors. It's out of respect for them. So I will be doing an all rise for when the jurors enter and exit. And just given some of our logistics, I am not looking for an all rise for when I enter at all. So my bailiffs are aware of that. But that's it for today. Good night, everyone. We'll see everyone at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Okay, at this point in time, there's a stopping point. So, I'll go this way. Alright, so tomorrow we will continue with grounds and reviewing the trials that we've been watching. Okay? So, I want to thank you all for being here, hanging out with me. We had a good stream. I'm thankful for y'all that are lurking and that are with us in chat. It's, very cool to have you all on board. Chris says, it's just people have... Yeah, Chrissy, I think that people are, they let their emotions get people are just vile people, and they'll let their emotions get to them, and they do these horrid things, yeah. I agree with you, Chrissy. Because especially people you've known for a while, it's not nice to do that too. You are extremely brilliant, kind, compassionate angel on the spaceship. Yeah, it's their own issue, right? I pray that there could be more peace over there. At the same time, we like to have our wild fun, as Passion said, and Passion's very wise and good point as well about the group. Oh yeah, exactly, Chrissy. Yeah, definitely. They want to be on top. And Shell, thank you for. It's nice seeing you. Thank you for being here. I know you kind of like came here recently, but you may have just gotten here. But thank you for coming. Thanks, Stream Alien. Hope you see you in chat tomorrow. Yes, I hope to see you too. Don't let the minority take away from us. Be safe, everyone. Yes, thank you, Passion. You're welcome, my diamond. G. Alienette. Beautiful name. The higher you go, the quicker you fall. Remember that. Yeah. And a lot of people attack those at the top. They love to do that. They want to try to mess with the alien dynasty, but it's not going to work. Yeah, smash that like button and probe that like button. Absolutely. Okay, everybody. Thank you all. Have a good evening and peace.